What's going on, Player Profiler Nation? This is the Game Plan Overtime session. I'm joined by my guest, Pat Fitzmaurice. If you haven't checked out our full episode we did together, go ahead and check out the episode of the Game Plan. We dove into a number of rosters, and we kind of dissected a little bit of what you should get ready for as we get into the training camp season. But in this overtime, Pat, we're going to have a little bit of fun here. We're going to do a little game of either or. What do you say?
Sounds great, Maddie. Looking forward to it. We had a great chat on the full-length pod, so I'm excited about going overtime.
Yeah, so there's no twist here. We're going to do it round by round. The first 5 rounds according to ADP in seasonal redraft leagues. And then we're going to go with this guy or that guy. Pat's going to give me his answer, and we'll let you guys get out of here with that. First round. This is the big one. This is the heavyweight match, Pat. Justin Jefferson or Ja'Marr Chase?
Oh, man. Look, I think it's close, and I have no issues with, people who want to go Chase. But for me, it's Jefferson. And, I was actually team Chase last year. And my reasoning was that, Chase was more the alpha guy at LSU. And, also that I remember there was an interview I think Chase did with Peter King last year where Peter King was asking him to compare himself to specific receivers around the league. And Chase wouldn't say he was better than Devontae Adams, but when Peter King mentioned Justin Jefferson's name, he's like, yeah, I'm better than Justin. And I kind of took him at his word. And plus he had the better quarterback. I mean, Joe Burrow's a lot better than Kirk Cousins, but I just think the setup is so good for Jefferson. And I don't think Jordan Addison is going to threaten his target share or whatever. So Jefferson is pretty safe, man. I know he slipped a little late last season, but it's just pretty bankable production.
So, okay, 1,400 receiving yards, 1,600, 1,800 yards. I didn't do all that well with the SATs, but for deductive reasoning purposes, that means he's going for 2,000 this year, right? I mean, that's the natural progression.
I think so. I think you got the pattern unlocked and decoded here, Matty.
The Vikings too are set up to smash. I mean, 11 games indoors. They go to Green Bay and to Chicago early in the season. They are set up to absolutely smash, and Justin Jefferson obviously will be a massive part of that. Let's go over to round 2. A battle of running backs here that are going in round 2. Nick Chubb or Tony Pollard, Pat?
I'm going Chubb, and it feels like maybe I'm on the wrong side of this. I'm sure Pollard is probably more popular with the hipsters and, Chubb with the squares. So I guess I have to be with the squares on this one. It's Maddie. It's just mainly, we talked about in the full length podcast about sort of the fallacy of small sample size efficiency. And it's not that Pollard's sample size is that small, but I mean, he hasn't had 200 carries in a season. He hasn't had 40 catches in a season. I think more of Tony Pollard probably is a good thing, but not necessarily. I don't want to see him having a peak Zeke Elliott workload because I just don't know if we're going to see the same sort of efficiency or, for him to stay healthy that way. Whereas Chubb is built to be a workhorse, man. And
oh yeah.
And now that there's no pretense of giving Kareem Hunt carries, I think they're just going to ride Chubb pretty hard this year.
Chubb I don't believe he's ever gone. He hasn't gone over 30 receptions since 2019. I think that's very much in play. The Browns have told us all offseason that they want to throw the ball more. They want to build this offense around their $200 million quarterback. And they haven't brought in a quote-unquote pass-catching running back. They're just telling us, no, Nick Chubb's going to take that role on, and he's going to absolutely dominate. So, listen, if you're telling me I can get a guy who's going to go for 1,200 rushing yards and also maybe catch 40 balls and go over 300 yards there, I mean, you're talking about an absolute smash spot for Nick Chubb. Here in round 3 now, Pat, we are in round 3, and we are deciding between the quarterbacks here. We are in the quarterback stage of the draft. Are you taking Jalen Hurts or Josh Allen?
Oh, man, I've gone back and forth on this, Maddie. Right now, it's Jalen Hurts. You ask me next week, I might tell you Josh Allen. But as of now, it's Jalen Hurts. And, the powers of analysis fail me at this point on this. It's we both know these guys are going to be really good runners and, pretty good passers, too. And, I guess I just feel a little bit better about the Eagles' offensive line. I think they've got a better pair of receivers. I totally buy the passing improvements that Jalen Hurts made last year. And like that was the thing. I thought coming out of college that he was just a running only quarterback, and that's clearly not the case. Like he can
Yes.
run at a high level in the NFL too.
And I think it's safe to say with Jalen Hurts, he has that it factor, whatever that is, to get better. He's continuously gotten better since his days at Alabama. So it's not outrageous to say that maybe he does approach that 30 touchdown passing season and all that. And he was QB1 last year with only 22. So Jalen Hurts is an absolute smash spot this year. And that offense is going to be absolutely bananas. One of the best in 2022, should be one of the best in 2023. Here we are in round 4. Another running back battle here, Pat, in round 4. Jahmyr Gibbs or Travis Etienne?
It's Etienne. I don't really have an issue with where Gibbs has been going in drafts, but I do think that he is going to be a part-timer no matter what. Like, I just think that's kind of the setup. Etienne, I don't know quite what his role is going to be. It seems like they don't want him to be a workhorse, bringing in Tank Bigsby. They had, what's his name? Jermichael Hasty playing on some passing downs last year.
Yep.
Yeah, it seems like they don't want to fully commit to Etienne being a workhorse. And yet he did have some workhorse type games late last year. So, I guess it's just, we've seen it with Etienne. I think we know he's pretty good based on what we saw last year. And we didn't see any lingering effects from the Lisfranc injury that cost him his rookie year. Gibbs is kind of a lighter guy. He's just not going to be able to carry a heavy load. He could be really useful as an Alvin Kamara type back who, 190 carries and, 60 or 70 catches. So, and we've seen that, DeAndre Swift was never short on targets when he was in Detroit.
Right.
That's encouraging. So I like them both, but I just a little bit more trust in Etienne.
Now, if you could take Etienne and Gibbs and make it one running back,
oh man,
I mean, you might have the RB1. The passing attack from Gibbs and the rushing ability from Etienne would make a dangerous weapon if you put it together. Here we are in round 5, Pat, and I got a surprise for you. It's a triple threat match here in round 5. Are you taking Deontay Johnson, Chris Godwin, or Brandon Ayuk here in round 5?
Oh man, I'm such a pro Chris Godwin guy, but Baker Mayfield, Kyle Trask, that situation just scares the hell out of me, man. It really is, man. And I feel like Godwin is probably going to be more immune to that bad quarterback situation than Mike Evans will be, as with Godwin being more of a short area receiver. But I'm still going Ayuk here, I think. And
Okay.
He quietly finished wide receiver 15 last year in PPR, 78 catches, hit 1,000 yards in his age 24 season. And he's just a good route runner. He's terrific after the catch. And aside from the weird little period where he was in Kyle Shanahan's doghouse for half a season.
Yeah, that was weird. Yeah.
That was weird. But other than that, he's been pretty terrific since coming into the league. And I feel like he's almost the only real wide receiver the 49ers have, because Debo has this weird hybrid usage where, his average depth of target is always 2 out of 3 years. It's been under 5 yards.
Yeah.
Ayuk is the only guy running a regular route tree on that team. I think he dealt with a weird QB situation last year and still put up good numbers. So, I think he's going to do it again. I just think he's really good. And, Deontay's okay too. I know he grades out spectacularly in Matt Harmon's film review and all that stuff. Yes, great route runner, no question about it. Hands maybe a little unreliable, but he's really good. I just we don't see a lot of big plays out of him. I don't love Kenny Pickett. Quarterbacking is an issue for all of these guys, I guess, but I just feel like maybe Ayuk's just kind of got the best combination of talent, role, career trajectory. Yeah. But it's a tough call with those three.
Yeah. Brandon Ayuk, the doghouse in Kyle Shanahan doghouse is one of the most vicious in the NFL. I mean, Trey Lance is still there, apparently. I mean, he's not going to get even a chance to become the starter from what we're hearing. That Brock Purdy is going to be the guy when he gets back healthy, and he looks like he might be throwing a football in the next few weeks. Doghouse and Kyle Shannon's doghouse is not a place that you want to be. But good thing that Brandon Ayuk is out. Now that he's out, we're going to take him here in round 5. That's going to be the overtime sesh. Pat, thank you so much for joining and helping these people make these decisions rounds 1 through 5.
Thanks for having me, Maddie. Appreciate it, man.